Hi, we meet again for another lesson. This is for the Form 3 pupils. We are using textbook close-up and it is Unit 7 and the topic is Extreme Situations. Before we begin, let's look at the learning standards. We have the main skills, writing 4.2.2, spell written word with moderate accuracy, reading 3.1.2, understand specific details and information in longer text on an increased range of familiar topics. And then the complementary skill, reading 3.1.3, guess the meaning of unfamiliar words with clues provided by other words and by context on an increased range of familiar topics. So first of all, for the pre-lesson activity, let's look at or watch a video. Who is Edward James Stafford? So let's read this short passage. Edward James Stafford, known as Ed Stafford, born 26 December 1975, is a British explorer. He holds the Guinness World Record for being the first human ever to walk the length of the Amazon River. Stafford now hosts shows on Discovery Channel. Ed Stafford was born in Peterborough, Cambridgeshire, England, and raised in Leicestershire. He was adopted as a baby by Barbara and Jeremy Stafford, who were both solicitors in Leicestershire. He was educated at Uppingham and was a Cub and a Scout in Leicestershire. Task 1 for vocabulary. Let's watch the video about Ed Stafford and then answer the questions. This is an exercise where you need to fill in the blanks with 8 words in the blue box. You can answer the first question, which is a closed text, by scanning this QR code. There are 8 words here, and then you have to use the words to fill in the blanks. Okay, let's look at the text. Truly extraordinary Ed Stafford. Some people call Ed Stafford an amazing, so there are 8 options here: destination, expedition, strength, limit, conditions, explorer, companion, and journey. What do you think is the correct answer? So the answer is explorer. But others think he's crazy. How can this be? Well, Ed Stafford has recently completed an incredible, so the answer is expedition. He has become the first man to walk the length of the Amazon River. He reached his, so the answer will be destination, a beach on Atlantic coast. After walking for 860 days in dangerous and extreme, so the answer is conditions. His journey required both mental and physical, answer is strength, as he had to deal with heat, hunger, thirst, and some very unfriendly people who wanted to kill him. The walk tested Stafford to his, answer is limit, every step of the way. Ed Stafford's success was partly due to his travelling companion, Chu Sanchez Rivera, who he relied on to help him when things got very bad. It seems that the final part of the answer will be journey was the most difficult and Ed collapsed at the side of the road. Luckily, however, Chu was there to be with him to help. Let's see what adventure this extraordinary man will think of next. Now we're going to watch this video about Ed Stafford.
Finally tonight, you might remember our person of the week, Ed Stafford, that man attempting to hike the entire length of the Amazon River. Everyone told me it was impossible, Ed said, and I wanted to prove them wrong. Today he did. Here's Bill Weir.
If you think your summer vacation has been too steamy or too stingy, trust me, you've got nothing on this guy. Ed Stafford has spent the last 2.5 years machete whacking and snake dodging, partly for rainforest awareness, mostly to be the first.
It's very easy to go into the jungle for 2 days and great fun, For a week, it's a bit more of an ordeal. For 2 years, it's ridiculous.
Of the 4,000 plus miles, his feet have been wet for 1,000. He's worn out 3 pairs of boots, 4 pairs of Crocs, and 2 pairs of rubber wellies. After his original partner quit, a friendly Peruvian named Cho offered to join him for a few days and never left. And together they survived anaconda and piranha, foot rot and dysentery, cocaine smugglers and hostile tribes.
There's 5 canoes full of Amerindians, half of them with bows and arrows drawn, half of them with shotguns, and all the women had machetes. And they were absolutely livid.
But when we joined him, we realized it is the monotony that tests you most here. Clothes that never dry, mosquitoes that never quit.
Ow! Ow!
And a stifling humidity that makes a hammock feel like a coffin.
Well, that was fun.
But while the jungle never relents, neither did Ed. And after a dip in his finish line, the Atlantic Ocean, he's rehydrating with a bit of bubbly.
Everyone told me I was crazy when I was doing this. Yeah, anyone can achieve what they want to achieve if they work hard enough.
Bill Weir, ABC News, New York.
Now we have task 2. Fill up the table with suitable information from the video. So there are some WH questions here. Who is the adventurer? Where did he go? When did he complete his adventure? What was the place he went to? How long was the adventure? Why was he successful? So you can fill up this table with answers. Let's move to the grammar exercise. So task 3 is identify all the simple past found in the sample essay. The first and second paragraphs are done as examples. A scare at the fair. So the simple past tense are all labeled using red color, and also they are underlined. So a scare at the fair. My cousins who live in Malacca invited our family over for the school holidays. My parents said they couldn't make it, but my little brother Govin and I could go if I promised to take care of my brother. I was not very happy because my 9-year-old brother was very mischievous. Still, I decided that getting to go to Malacca was worth the trouble. So here in the first paragraph, the simple past, you can see here invited, state, promise, was, decided, and was. For the second paragraph, a pleasant surprise awaited us in Malacca. There was a big fair in town. My aunt took us and my 2 cousins to the fair. First, we enjoyed ourselves at the game stalls. Next, we took a ride on the Ferris wheel. After that, my cousin Arid wanted to go inside the haunted house. There was a long queue waiting to go in. So let's look at the simple past. They are awaited, was, took, enjoyed, took, wanted, and was. So this is the instruction. Grammar, simple past tense. Read the story and identify all the verbs in simple past. The first and second paragraph have been done as examples. You can continue to identify the verbs in simple past tense in the same form here. Just scan the QR code. This is the third paragraph. My aunt was not keen on the haunted house as she thought that it would not be suitable for Govin. But Govin refused to be left behind. Make sure you hold on to Govin's hand when you are inside, my aunt advised. We bought 4 tickets and joined the queue. Our turn to enter the haunted house came after a long wait. As the door shut behind us with a loud creaking sound, we found ourselves in total darkness. It was deadly quiet. I gripped Govin's hand tightly. Aru's sister Shamini giggled nervously. So let's look at the answers. You are looking for simple past. So they are was, taught, refuse, advice, bought, joined, came, shut, found, was, gripped, and giggled. Next, a dim greenish light shone on our right. Something brushed against our faces. At the same time, we heard a blood-curdling scream. Yelling with fright, the 4 of us ran towards the green light. We saw a wooden bridge across a pool of some sort. As we crossed the creaking bridge, a horrible-looking creature suddenly came out of the water. We ran across the rest of the bridge. I felt Govin's hand slip out of mine. "Govin, where are you?" I shouted. There was no answer. Now I was really scared. Arit and Shamini were also very worried. "We have got to find Govin. He might be frightened to death being alone in this place," I told my cousin. Let's look at the answers. Sean, brush, heard, ran, saw, cross, came, ran, felt, shouted, was, were, and told. These are the last two paragraphs. We held hands and moved forward, calling Govin's name. The skeleton jumped out from behind a gravestone. We were too worried about Govin to be alarmed. Then something grabbed me from behind. I struggled and tried to shake it off. That something or someone laughed like a madman and clawed at my face. I pushed it hard and it fell to the ground. "Ouch, that hurts!" cried a familiar voice. "Govin, is that you?" I cried in relief. "What were you trying to do, giving us such a fright?" Aru helped Govin up. In the dim light, I could see his white teeth. He was grinning. "Scared you, didn't I? I bet you thought a monster was attacking you," he said proudly. Aru and Shamini and I laughed. No, you little rascal. You did not scare us, but our losing you certainly did," I told my disappointed brother. Let's look at the answers. We are looking for simple past. So helped, moved, jumped, were, grabbed, struggled, laughed, clawed, pushed, fell, cried, helped, said, laughed, and told. Now we are looking at the writing lesson. The task 4, writing. Your English teacher has asked you to write a story. Your story must begin with this sentence: "Nobody knew where they were." So you must write in 120 words. Before that, let's read the writing task below. Write through. So you must use T or false. Use F for each of the statements that follow. Write a story which begins with this sentence: "Everyone was scared to death." 120 words. Example, the story will involve several people. So that's true because of the word everyone. Number 2, it will be about a frightening situation. That is also true because of the phrase scared to death. Someone must die in the story. No, it is false. You can begin your story any way you like. So that's false because the sentence is given. The story will probably have suspense. Yes, true, because it is about something scary. So these are the useful expressions to create suspense. You can use phrases like "at that point," "during the minutes," or "during the hours," or "during the days that followed." You can use "all of a sudden," "as quick as lightning," "as fast as he could." He'll never be in such an extreme situation. Without thinking, there was no sign of. He thought of a plan. To make things worse, they were just about to give up when. Now, useful grammar for your story using narrative tenses. To write stories based in the past, we use narrative tenses. Use past simple. To talk about a completed action, state in the past or series of actions that happen one after the other in the past, or to take the action of the story further. So task 4, writing. Your English teacher has asked you to write a story. Your story must begin with this sentence: "Nobody knew where they were." So you must write in 120 words. You can continue to write your story in the same form here. Just scan the QR code. Now let's look at the model essay. Nobody knew where they were. The boys were so engrossed in their discoveries that they forgot time was slipping by quickly. At the same time, they were unaware that they had wandered deep into the jungle and away from the track which they had followed while entering the jungle. They had become lost in the maze of trees and creepers. The group of schoolboys had decided to go hiking and exploring the jungle outside Kuantan. They were excited over the waterfalls, jungle creepers, and the enormous trees that they had come across. While watching some monkeys swinging on the branches of trees and eating wild fruits, they took many photos with their phones. After walking aimlessly, they were hungry, so they sat under a tree to eat their sandwiches and fruits. Then it started to rain and it grew dark, making it all the more difficult for the boys to retrace their steps in an attempt to get out of the jungle. They tried using their phones, but there was no signal. In the end, they decided to spend the night in the jungle. They huddled together under a tree. They hardly slept as they were bitten by mosquitoes and were worried about the wild animals heard prowling around. They were relieved when day broke. They tried a different route and managed to reach the main road, and from there they found their way back home. We have reached the end of our lesson for today, and just now we did a lesson on extreme situations. I hope you have learned and benefited from this lesson today. So don't forget that my name is Madam Gan, and then do subscribe to my channel. It is called Educator Omni Tube. So signing off, bye bye, and see you in the next lesson.